Hey guys, welcome back to the TI4 Qualifiers Southeast Asia region, presented by Monster Energy. Shannon, we're going to go into the last game of the day. It's been a long day. We're pretty exhausted.
It felt pretty short.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay. For you? Not
yeah,
for me.
I just slept for like 2 hours, so it's fine.
Okay.
I'm fresh. I'm energized. It's good. I hope to see another Tusk. This time I hope to actually see the snowball actually do something, but either way, that was a fun game to cast actually, so I'm actually more excited to watch Zephyr.
Yeah, this is
You don't seem very excited to watch Zephyr.
Which I am excited for this because this is actually a really important match. Orange are 3-2, Zephyr are 1-4. So a loss for Zephyr right now is devastating. It almost, I'm not going to say it completely removes their chances of getting into the playoffs, but it's not going to look really, really grim going into tomorrow with 1-5. Of course, there's going to be only 9 matches per team in this qualifier. In the Americas one, we had 10 matches per team because there was a little bit of a special scenario where we ended up with 11 teams. But if you're 1-5, you can end on 4-5 as your best. I don't think that's going to cut it for top 4.
Yeah, agreed. So the draft is underway. So let's see who in God's name they're picking banning, huh? Of course, this is Zephyr versus Orange. I don't even think we mentioned Orange. Been playing decently well today. I think they're 3-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, mentioned both of those things.
Okay,
Thanks for listening.
good to know. Good to know. Bat Rider likely to be the bans for Orange, and Invoker Centaur for Zephyr, as I like to call them. Sand King, though, the first pick from Zephyr, followed by the Rasta and Mirana for Orange. Dazzle!
It seems, are all teams banning Centaur against? No, not all teams are banning Centaur against Orange, but it seems when Orange are in the game, the Centaur becomes an important pick or ban. Orange love to get it, they ban it if they can't get it. Zephyr have been a little bit more all over the place as far as their picks go. I think they're just trying to find some sort of comfort zone that they can.
I think we saw the Death Prophet ban when we cast their game as well, didn't we?
But that was against Orange. This time
was it?
Orange then. Okay. Or no, you're right, it was against Zephyr. You're right, there was another team banning DP against Zephyr. So apparently Zephyr rock an amazing Death Prophet, which
it doesn't seem like a typical Blitz hero, but
not at all. Maybe it's Corey playing it amazingly in the safe lane.
Okay,
could be.
Possibly, yeah.
Makes sense to ban it here, I guess. You're playing up against a Dazzle and a Sand King. It seems much like a teamfight-oriented sustained push lineup that Zephyr could transition into. Orange, however, we saw it earlier today. They are so good when they get Shadow Shaman. I think it is their best support, at least based on that performance.
Yeah.
Are great at taking fights with it, great at getting objectives. Mirana, of course, can set you up for those fights. I think so far Orange are going to be happy with what they're up to.
Well, I keep saying it. Blink Hex, if you're able to get the Blink on Rasta, is the best initiation you could possibly ask for. Followed by Centaur, number 2. But that's another story. Now, having a Shackle into an Arrow isn't exactly the best combination, I would say, because the Shackle's not always guaranteed. It's kind of like a Nightmare to some degree, where you can kind of take it off easily. Of course, I think Nightmare is a little bit easier because you can just toggle it off and on, but that's, of course, if it's not that's if it's a dual lane or more. The Sand King Dazzle. Sand King just seems like, ever since they changed the Sandstorm, having a wider radius in the way that works in the jungle, just been crazy picked. It's kind of like the Crystal Maiden of the old days, where you can just start out in lane, get a couple levels, then go to the jungle and just farm away to your heart's content. Shadow Demon the pick for Zephyr, and Queen of Pain for Orange. We talked about 6.81. The only change to her, I believe, oh no, actually it was the range of Shadow Strike and the cooldown being 4 seconds at level 4.
Yes.
Haven't seen that really come into effect at all.
No, it's still mainly a lane domination ability. I think the reason it got changed was so people would start leveling it up. You would mainly see it on level 1, sometimes level 2. Some games not even skilled, as a matter of fact. But just the cast time on it is still the problem later on in the game. You need to stop, you need to do your animation. It exposes you to getting hexed, stunned when you're in 435 range. If you don't have a BKB, it's kind of hard to get it off, to be honest. But what I'm really interested in here is what is the thought process here for Zephyr Dota. This is one of these heroes is a core. I'm going to assume it's a Sand King. These three are classically played as supports, all three of them.
Right.
This tri-lane, though, is absolutely insanely good. It's Shadow Demon's Disruption into Sand King Stun into Shadow Wave.
It's a death tri-lane.
It kills whatever it catches.
Right.
The question is if it's going to catch anything, because they picked it into a Mirana and they picked it into a Queen of
Well,
Pain.
they have the Soul Catcher.
Radiant team pick.
Storm Spirit. Is that going to be picked up as we transition? I'm surprised that Blitz, or nobody banned Storm Spirit for Blitz, but they're going to pick the Night Stalker. And the game that we cast, it was the opposing... Wait, was it that game that the Night Stalker was a support and it worked out really well?
Orange played support Night Stalker. Against...
No, Myth Trust played it, I believe.
No, Orange played it in their
Orange?
first game, which we cast. And that was against...
10 seconds remaining.
Myth Trust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
but it
Myth
wasn't
Trust
Orange's side, because I remember that
5
Orange is like the only
seconds
team that
remaining.
even considers that.
Okay.
I think for Zephyr here, it's definitely a core. I like the Night Stalker pickup here. It's really good. The Orange heroes are very fragile. They're dependent on spellcasts. Both Queen of Pain and Mirana can't leap slash blink when they're silenced. Shadow Shaman gets completely crushed when he gets caught out by Night Stalker. The most exciting thing for me about all in this game, though, is that Chen is picked. I feel like this hero is just gone. And I'm really happy to see it again, because... Yes, Enchantress is the better early game dominator with two creeps at once, but Chen just has a lot to offer in terms of structured teamfight pushing lineups, where you have Shadow Shaman, you have the AoE from Queen of Pain and Mirana, and then you pick a Darkseer.
Well,
It's
it's
a
kind of like
well-rounded lineup.
it's
for
a
Orange.
mass heal from Chen overall, and I think maybe it's not the only reason they picked it, but knowing that the Ancient Apparition is banned, it's not really
That's
a
a good
hard
point.
counter to Chen, but I feel like it's just really annoying, like especially if you get some farm on with an Aghanim Scepter or something like that. But they're gonna pick Darkseer last, so looks like a Darkseer off lane, Queen of Pain mid, and then some sort of a pseudo tri lane with those three. And
Wow.
Necrophos! Is this a Cory farming Necrophos? I don't think
is.
it's not a Blitz type hero. Night Stalker's the closest to Blitz you're gonna get, I would think.
This is a very, very good Necrophos game. I think Zephyr might have just found one of the best drafts to get a Necrophos in. So this hero is fragile, and he needs farm, and he needs to get core items up that keep him alive. His main opponents are heavy single target damage and lockdown, which Orange really don't have too much of. Sure, they have the Hex from Shadow Shaman. If they land an arrow, that can be scary, and Queen of Pain does have burst damage, but the moment he gets a mech and one more item, he's probably going to stay alive in these fights. And there's also a Shallow Grave and a Disruption
10
to keep him
seconds
alive.
remaining.
I love this pick, and I think, considering how I praised Orange's lineup for how they realized Chen could work here, I want to praise Zephyr at least as much for picking the Necrophos. First of all, it's ballsy,
Prepare
because
for
no one
battle.
plays this hero. And secondly, this is a really, really good idea.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong with the changes. Necrophos' ult, obviously the Aghanim Scepter is always did, or I shouldn't say always did this, but the one main change was you can't buy back if you kill them with an Aghanim
That's
Scepter,
correct.
but can't assume he's getting an Aghanims, but if you kill him normally with Reaper's Scythe, I believe it's like a 30%
Exactly.
cooldown, or not cooldown, longer respawn time or whatever.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and I have personally, I have not seen this yet in action for a competitive game. Have you?
Necrophos in general?
No, since they made that change, yeah. Like the cooldown. Not the, why do I keep calling it cooldown? The longer.
I
death
don't think
timer.
I've seen it. If I've seen it, I've seen it once. So it
Okay.
really, and it didn't impress me. But
It has a little icon underneath, actually, when it's used. I've seen it in a pub game. So
30
Oh, yeah, that's
seconds
true.
to
it's pretty
battle.
cool.
this
Shadow
is,
Shaman with boots first. What is this?
he is going to be playing really aggressively. Maybe they're trying to rotate very early with Chen and a smoke. It's a
Hmm.
classic way of playing this when you have Shadow Shaman and Chen together.
Interesting.
It makes it very easy for Chen to land his creep's ability when you have the long duration shackle, and Shadow Shaman can actually catch up when he has boots.
Right.
It's a very slow hero by nature. He's got 285 base movement speed. So boots are
The battle
a different but a
begins.
smart choice, I feel.
All right, let's go over the lineups here. And
Yes.
keep in mind that we are friends with Zephyr, so if we flame them, it's because we love them. Most notably
For
Purge,
you,
of
maybe.
course. Yeah. So on Zephyr's side, we have Sand King played by Aosin, Purge on the support. Purger himself, Shadow Demon. The Dazzle, sorry, is going to be played by Sexy Bamboo. And then, of course, mid lane, we have Night Stalker played by the one and only Blitz Dota. And last but not least, Cory is, right now, he's alone in this farming lane as the Necrophos.
And for Orange, going top down, we've got Mirana in the top lane played by Shox. In the mid lane, it will be Izera playing on the Queen of Pain. She played on the previous Orange game we cast.
Right.
Before the, okay, 2 games ago. Not in the last game. Sharky will be playing Shadow Shaman, which he also played in that particular game. We've got Insidious C playing on the Chen, and then finally Winter will be playing on Darkseer. And this is a great start for Orange, making this rotation. They realize it's a solo Necrophos down here. Quickly move down with the Chen creep, set it up with a gank, and I think we're going to have a first blood on Corey here.
Yeah, this is going to be tough to get away. He has absolutely no escape mechanism. Of course, the death is it Death Pulse.
Yep.
God, this hero's never played. I'm not
Yeah,
remembering his
it's
names.
true.
Now, what do you lane or do you get Heartstopper Aura if there's only one in your lane? Of course, there's going to be a tri-lane here. As you can actually get
Radiant's
cockblocked by
bottom
this
tower
tomato
is under attack.
creep. It's going to deal a lot of damage. There's not going to be any TPs for Zephyr, so this is definitely first blood in Orange's favor. It's very, very easy. And of course, the supports for Zephyr are still at the side shop in top lane, waiting for Orange to show up, but he just pulled the creeps.
This is
Radiant's
just so
bottom
incredibly
tower is under
obvious that
attack.
Orange are not going to fall for that. They wasted so much time, now they gave up, and now they're going to walk into a ward. And Mirana's like, yep, they were actually here for 1.5 minutes, guys. I just dodged them, no problem. What do you think about letting the Dazzle farm instead of the
Radiant's
Sand King?
bottom tower
I
is
personally
under
would have
attack.
farmed the Sand King here, if it's my choice. When you're playing this trial line anyway, you're enabling a melee hero to farm for free.
See, the thing is, Sanky can just go to the jungle if he really wants to.
Radiant's bottom tower
I don't think
is
you
under
can just do
attack.
that now.
Why not?
There's a Chen there.
Well, he could go to his own jungle if he needs to. I don't know. I mean, I feel like he has more flexibility than Dazzle. Dazzle's kind of underrated as a farmer, I feel like. But then again, I'm used to seeing that as like a mid-solo, so you're getting the levels as well, which you're not really going to get in this lane. So remains to be
Radiant's
seen. His
bottom
tower's
tower
already
has fallen.
taken out in bottom lane for Orange. So this is just not a good start here for Zephyr.
Their supports are not accomplishing anything. It's time to give up. You have wasted 2.5 minutes in the top
It's
lane.
time to give up, everybody. Concede.
It is time. This is my
Dire's
best
top tower
motivational
is
speech.
under attack.
Trust me, I practiced really hard.
You would make a great coach. It's time to give up, friends.
Leave me alone, okay? Sand King is going to be pulling here together with Mirana and try to farm some of the creeps, which is okay, but Shox is actually just going to force him away here. That leaves Bamboo and
top
Purge to do
tower
some
is
significant
under
damage to
attack.
this tower. I don't know whether
Mid
they can
lane,
take it down or
blitz,
not.
taking the Ether Shock to the face. A nice job of re-aggroing the tower so that Rasta isn't killed, and another kill goes the way of Orange.
But this
And
is
they're
just
gonna
too
continue to
easy,
push.
honestly.
Are
This is just
fortified.
too easy.
Radiant's middle tower
Zephyr
is
are
under
not
attack.
only not accomplishing anything, but they're constantly visible. So Orange knows exactly what they can get away with. There's no risk involved going for these ganks because, yeah.
They just guessed wrong on the lanes.
They
and
guessed wrong.
They haven't reacted yet.
No,
I feel
that's
like.
the problem. I mean, sometimes you're just wrong. Sometimes you guess wrong. Move. Dazzle can solo against Mirana. He's going to be fine. Sure, they've secured Bamboo some great farm, but their Necrophos is 4-3. He's their most farm-dependent hero who you really want to give a good start. I am shocked they did not just support him in this game.
Right. Yeah. This is.
And then you could have offlaned a Dazzle, which, you know, in theory might be terrible, but they're Radiant. On Radiant, you can get away with a lot of stuff in the offlane. He does have Shallow Grave. If you have Grave and a TP, you're actually pretty hard to kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This has just not worked out. The recovery plan right now is rotate mid. Oh.
Radiant's middle
Lost
tower
that tower too.
has
They've lost
fallen.
2 towers
okay,
in 4
so
minutes.
the mid tower's dead. Necrophos has been left alone a bit to catch up at the bottom lane, so hopefully... Of course, this is a hero that doesn't really get online for a decent amount of time. He's very item dependent. Like a mech, you just need a lot of survivability on him. And then, of course, there's Night Stalker, who... It's going to be nighttime as of right now. He's only level 4, which I guess that's kind of normal. It's Corey getting caught out again. Look at... Darkseer is the slowest human being alive, but this should be enough for the kill. The Ion Shell, level 2, dealing so much damage to him. That's going to be the 3rd kill going Orange's way. I feel like rotations need to happen here. Zephyr needs to step it up. And now that it's nighttime, I don't know how useful he can be in the first night.
Blitz
but
has put a skill point into stats. I think that was a misclick. So
boy.
he's effectively 1 level behind on the Void. I'm wondering if anything more can go wrong for Zephyr in the first 5 minutes of this game. It's the only good thing is that Dazzle's getting farmed. That's just not going to work.
great leap from on the
My pet.
I just
thanks
I
you.
like to pronounce it as it looks, but yeah, shocks, whatever you want to call them. So, yeah, that is really weird that you put a point in stats. That's 100% misclick, you think?
Yeah. There's no reason to put a point in stats on Night Stalker in the early game.
Well, this aggressive tri lane just has pretty much failed. I mean, they have so much kill potential, but of course, against the Moran, it's a little tough, especially
There's
with
no one
somebody
to
with
kill.
so much more, or so much awareness as far as the map is concerned with those wards and whatnot. Rasta's now there to babysit. Not that it's really needed. And actually, they might be ganking in the top lane. Dazzle's all alone.
Oh, actually,
Oh boy.
Zephyr's finally moving toward the mid lane. And this is easily a potential kill.
No, they're smoked up. Of course, Ysera is Quap after all, so he has a blink, but and this is so smart. They're so
They got
aware
the
of the
intel
map
here.
here.
It's the fact that they're pushing and they're not seeing anyone just makes it obvious for Ysera. They're coming for her. Just gonna stand back. And this top tier 1 tower is gonna fall as well if they don't reinforce now. So now Zephyr is in a position where they're forced to rotate top again to save the tower, or
They're just running around with their like chickens with their heads
They
cut
are
off right
getting
now. They're
so outplayed this game.
and this tower is going to be worse for wear. Another 30 seconds, it'll go down. Of course, the fortification is now completed. The cooldown, that is. And Blitz is just waiting to go. He has 1 level in Crippling Fear. That'll prevent the leap, obviously, but they just cannot find any room for a gank here.
Look at the gold. This is
I don't want
This
to.
is a 6-minute game.
I don't want to look at the gold.
6-minute game.
Synderen.
The experience is actually not that bad. That's 500. A big part of it is because Orange have been rotating their supports a lot as well, trying to push down these towers. So at the very least, Zephyr has been getting some space there, but their Sand King is level 2. Their Shadow Demon is level 2. We're 7 minutes in. They haven't set up an assist.
Just to give you an idea of the gold here, Rasta in the next 5 minutes is probably going to have a Blink Dagger.
Yep.
And this is a support Rasta, so tough game. Tough game to say the least. Tier 1 tower, about 3/4 dead. Looking at the net worth overall, of course, there's still room for Zephyr to come back. I believe, Synderen. Do you feel the excitement in my voice? I believe in the friends of Zephyr. I can't even say it straight.
I hope they have strong power friendship, because they're going to need that after this
Yeah,
game.
it's just this is one of the roughest starts I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, hopefully they're good friends so they can deal with this, because unless if they pull off some sort of miracle, I know this is generally not what we do, and I feel like it's kind of crazy to call games this early, but this is definitely not looking good.
Yeah.
I would give them a bit more of a chance if the farm was distributed differently. If Necrolite had the net worth of Dazzle and vice versa, then maybe they had a bigger chance, because Necrolite is still going to need a lot of time to come online here. And if the supports had just executed 1 or 2 ganks, so they were like level 4 or something, that would have been enough. But there's just been nothing happening. They're constantly looking for something.
They're looking for a gank that never happens. Dazzle working on a drum.
Feeling it right now.
So, speak to me concerning the Dazzle, the farming Dazzle. I know you say you prefer to have Sanking, but just as apparently Night Stalker picks up a DD, but what do you think about the farming Dazzle in this game in particular?
Well, like I said, I feel like when you have the choice, in most games I would farm the Sand King.
Well, okay, forget about that. I'm just saying, just disruption, the Soul Catcher. That's the first time we've seen that. And the Shadow Wave is too late.
Wasn't gonna die anyway.
And shots are just gonna lead the way to safety. Moonlight Shadow, along with
Bambo's dead.
the Surge, is gonna ensure the kill on Sexy Bambo. Can't grave himself when you're stunned. Good, sir. That's 4-0 Orange right now. But please, the Dazzle, just in general. Not mid solo. Personally, I've never seen a Dazzle in a tri-lane as the
So
farmer.
getting farm on that hero in general.
Yes.
Radiant's
As a
top
non-mid,
tower is under
meaning you're not
attack.
getting all the levels that you want either.
Radiant's top
It
tower
makes most
has
sense to
fallen.
play him as a farmer if he is performing a utility role for the team. But the items he would be getting are the items that are core and Necrophos. He's gonna get the mech that I would let a Dazzle farm for, personally. He could go for an urn, but he's gonna phase drums, which if he's getting farm like this, this is definitely not what I would have gone for. The phase boots I think are okay, but get a higher impact item. You're playing
Radiant's
against a
top
lineup with
tower
great
is
mobility
under
and that
attack.
has stuns. Get a 4-staff for your team. Get, I don't know, maybe start working on a pipe so you can take team fights. This drum is not going to do anything, I feel. And then perhaps he starts roaming with the other supports, but Orange just had them completely locked down. They've taken the 3 tier 1 towers. They know exactly what's going on. Their warding is very aggressive. You can see they have a ward down here inside the Radiant jungle. They have a ward here, which is actually a really unusual spot. I think this one is really interesting to see. So it does cover out here in the lane. It kind of has this area of vision here. So you do see rotations coming towards mid and towards top lane. So a really interesting ward here coming out of orange. Have you seen this ward a lot? I feel like
No.
this is a very rare one.
No.
Always cool when teams discover new ways of placing them.
Yep.
Double
4-0 to orange favorite, as I said, and they're going to be going for Roche. It looks like the Serpent Ward's going to be placed. Free Roche. Don't know if Zephyr can actually do anything about this. The mech was picked up by Necrophos, so does that open them up to, and of course the mech now on Chen, so
Yeah,
that
so it
just
kinda
shows you
evens
that
out.
it's a support for the one role in this case, mech for mech.
I like what
Dire's
Zephyr are doing
middle
now.
tower is under attack.
I feel like this is the way to go.
Dire's
They
structures
have been
are
completely locked
fortified.
down.
They just death ball.
It's Hail Mary time at 10 minutes. That is how strict this is looking. So
I feel like
they
Orange
have
has
the
time
mech,
to
they
defend
have
this
level
now.
4 Death Pulse. Accomplishing something right now would be really good. There's a surge coming out from Winter here. But just kind of let them go.
Yeah. Arrow's gonna miss. Here's the disruption. Moonlight Shadow to follow. Soul Catcher on a creep. Unfortunately, Burrow Strike is there for you, Sarah. But oh my god, the Sonic Wave blows up Sand King. You see Corey's ult going out. I don't believe it got a kill unless it was the Aegis carry, and I guess it was. Zephyr on the run now. Purge trying to run away from this Mirana, who's just gonna right click him down, no problem. Aeosin is back. Has the Burrow Strike. Uses it on Chen. Can they actually get this kill is the question. My god, the surge, the mech, the hand of God, everything in between. So much sustainability for Orange. 7-1 advantage. As we have a buyback really early for Dazzle. And they're just going to clean up Aeosin. So 8-1 right now, and this push continues for Orange.
That fight showed some promise of what Zephyr's lineup could have done if the early game didn't go as poorly as it did, because they went on the worst possible target. They went on the Queen of Pain, the Aegis carrier. She still got all her spells off on the entire team, and that fight was still even. Imagine they go on someone else. They get the opener, they get the kill. There's no Aegis, imagine that. And imagine Orange are ahead by 2,000 gold less.
Dire's middle
That
tower
fight could
is
have
under
worked for
attack.
Zephyr. It's just really unfortunate, to be honest, because they didn't need to be even on gold in this game or be ahead. They just needed to be somewhat close to the enemy team to be able to take these fights. And it's such a shame for me personally, because I thought the Necrophos was an amazing pick, and I can just see in these fights how promising it is, but the other lanes just didn't work.
Sexy Bambo bought back, and then essentially did nothing.
They
An
need to
early
keep
buyback
pushing.
isn't
This
the
is
biggest
good.
deal, obviously. They're going to apply some pressure to this tier 1. It's going to go down one way or another. The question is it going to be denied or not? The arrow coming in. It's going to hit Sexy Bambo, and there is the deny, adding
Dire's
insult to
middle
injury
tower
for
has
Zephyr
been denied.
as he's within a tornado. It's like a melee wild game just taunting him. And they can't do anything about it, unfortunately. There's no void. And they're forced to back up. So it's a denied tower, but it's a tower nonetheless, and arguably the most important tower to take, I suppose. So perhaps this will open them up for some gank potential.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I feel like right now what Zephyr should do is try to go from one lane to the other. Since they've already lost their tier 1 towers, the chance that Orange with their lineup right now can take a tower trade is not that big if they've pushed out the side lanes a little bit. If they continue mid now, I won't hold it against them. There's also not too much of the nighttime left, as we have the great animation bug on Night Stalker again. I feel like this is the hero that has the most weird animation bugs. Now he's normal again. Sometimes he has the damaged animation during nighttime with full HP for some reason. Arrow?
Not going to connect.
No.
And Zephyr again on the back foot. So if you're Zephyr here, like I feel like ganking is the only way to back in this game. Like just constant ganking, because they have a mid-game lineup for the
Might
most part.
get it now.
They're going to group up.
Elite.
Can they
And
initiate? The
Winter-
surge
they
is so good
perhaps
this
got him
game.
there with the disruption, actually. They did have the vision of him with this
Sharky.
ward.
Does he have a blink? He's going to get voided, so he doesn't have this. And the silence. Right clicks away, finding himself in a really weird spot. I'm surprised he went into that position, but they'll find the kill on Shadow Shaman. He does have a blink, you said?
No.
Okay.
He does not. He's very close, though. 300 gold away. So before he died, probably 200 or 150.
Alrighty.
Izira has gone for a Necro Book, so seems like Orange's game plan is, okay, we know we don't scale amazingly into late game. We have a Mirana and a Queen of Pain, so we get the Necro Book so we can end the game in a timely manner. I would agree with this item pickup. It's good here. And Necro Book is great against Necrophos. Draining his mana makes him a really weak hero in these team fights. He is all about the mana. So, will be very, very useful here. I'm wondering if someone else is going to get a book as well, just to go full Rambo push. Sometimes you see Chen's getting that. It is very micro-intensive, but there are some players who are excellent at microing all 3 creeps as well as the book at once.
Ooh, Blitz
Oh, Blitz
finds
actually
Chen,
would be
but
in this here.
Passes him by. Looking for a different kill.
Look at him.
Perhaps.
He's crippled.
He's crippled, and he's going to use Crippling Fear on Marana, I would assume, to start out this
That's a
game.
kill. Oh god, they're
too
not
late.
getting it.
Too late. Marana's just been completely aware of everything.
Yeah.
What a map hacker.
Shucks has been
Seriously.
cheating a lot this game.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh.
8-2, 7,500 gold, 4,000 experience roughly, going the way of Orange. The game is slowing down a little bit now, which I would personally say favors Zephyr a bit. I would still want them to take the tier 1 towers. That was what I was insisting on. Keep trying, get a little bit more. Because if they just keep playing this passive farm game, sure, maybe you can stay tied with Orange, but I still, at some point, there's going to be another Roshan.
Right.
Orange are going to get that for free. Then you're going to lose a tier 2 or maybe more, and then all the farm you just got was in vain. So getting this top tier 1 would be really good for them. It's
I
actually
honestly
pretty
think
low.
that they were waiting for the blink. Or Orange has been waiting for the blink on Rasta.
Aosin might find an open.
Nice shout out that
Quickly.
Burrow Strike's going to miss. Going to be forced back. There's the blink initiation. Aosin's dead to the air, among other things. Very early Grave is used.
He wanted to break this thing. He panicked.
Shadow Strike applied to Sexy Bambo. He's extremely slow now. And he's going to attempt to TP away, but in all likelihood will move back.
He will.
Well,
It's
in
not
one
the way
way.
he was imagining.
Right, that's a great point, Syndrome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So 10-2 advantage for Orange as they continue the pressure. Nice silence, but again, Zephyr
good
just on the
disruption
back
there.
foot here. Burge getting netted. The cooldown, I keep saying cooldown, the timers on the deaths are just insanely low for Zephyr. They're just getting out leveled this game. Arrow gonna, hits Corey directly in the face. Don't think there's gonna be any fault from Orange. I believe Corey's working on a hood into a pipe. Actually, could be going Vlad's, I suppose.
Please
Is it
don't.
going Vlad?
Please don't. Get the hood. Get the pipe.
Did he get that Basilius? I think that's a new Basilius. I don't think he had that before, did he?
Oh, that's okay. Basilius is a really, really good item. It's one of the most cost-effective items. He started with Ring of Protection, but I don't know when he completed this. But
Oh, did he just
think
get a
he had
Staff
it
of
for a bit.
Wizardry? Was that him?
Oh,
So it's going to be a 4-staff.
yeah, more than.
What do you think about the 4-staff? I mean,
It's
it's
not-
not like okay. So as far as like normal items, you're going to be getting, you're not going to be getting like the Sheebas and stuff like that yet. I mean, it's just not feasible. I don't think you got to go for smaller items.
I think he's
Here's
not.
another blink
oh, boy.
initiation. Aosin, Arrow's not going to connect, but the Shackle will. That's all you need. Sonic Wave blown on him. Not sure that was really needed, but
And he was gonna get a grave. Maybe he could have sandstormed and Burrow struck away, possibly. But still, you know, we've been talking about how dominant Sankings have been in some games where you can jump and get a fast blink dagger. Corey, oh sorry, Aosin is not even level 6 in an 18. It's the decision making early on with the lanes and their movements where we'll keep coming back to it, but to be honest, that is the essence of this game, is that they set their lanes wrong and they fail to adjust, because I like their draft, I like the approach they took to the game. Initially, it didn't work, solve it. Don't just give in and be like persistent on staying top with 3 heroes until the game is over. And now this pickoff, this was what I was saying, if they don't put pressure, at some point they're going to get caught out or they're going to lose Roche. Every kill for Orange is a tower, because they have Mass Serpent Wards and Chen. If they catch any priority target, they force Zephyr away. And now you can see when Zephyr's all alive, they can go top and defend this tier 2, the mid one, however they have. It's looking grim.
it's tough to team fight without that blink on Sand King, and I think Orange knows that. I'm not sure if they're waiting for another Roche here, but I feel like they could just continue to take down these. There's only 2 outer towers left, and we're looking at the golden experience. It's just off the charts in Orange's favor. And for all those Zephyr fans out there, this game is actually really important. If they lose, it's not completely out mathematically, but it's pretty much out. So this is why that they're sticking it out to the bitter end for sure. And this blink on Rasa is just so good. One of the best heroes to get blink on by far. And even if it's just like, even if he's like not getting any farm and he just has a blink, it's still worth it. I think. I mean, you can't really. It's hard to counter
It's the
a
highest
blink
value
hex.
item on a support Shadow Shaman, I would agree. There's also, I don't think there's any pro player playing Shadow Shaman that doesn't get blink at some point in this build. Preferably first
Radiant's
as
bottom
support.
tower is
Sometimes
under
as core,
attack.
maybe you want to get the Axe first if you can put a lot of pressure with that, but the blink is just so damn good. So here's the Roche that we were expecting to come out. I'm assuming they're going to give the Aegis to Zera again. And to finish off on the first half, I understand he wants to have some mobility, but my worry here is that with the levels coming out for Orange, he's just going to get burst down, where the Hood could keep him alive. The Force Staff, when he gets caught by anything, the Blink Hex will kill him if Disruptor and Dazzle aren't on the mark. If he can rely on them being in a good position, then perhaps this can work out, but generally, I like to think of Necrophos as like a battle tank, or a siege tank rather. It's like, you put your Necrophos in the team fight, and then you like gradually just push forward and everything around you just rots.
I feel really bad for Eosin. Every time we look at him, somebody else is taking the farm, and I feel like the most important item right now for Zephyr is getting the Blink Dagger, I think.
I agree.
100%. So I feel like he should have it by now, and partially his teammates' faults, honestly. I mean, what is Necrophos going to get with like one wave of creeps that Eosin can't with that Blink Dagger?
I can't believe Bambo is the lead farmer on Dazzle. It's
really
weird to see.
And it just hasn't done anything at all. It looks like he might be going for Force Staff as well. Could be going for... it is a Force Staff.
Not too bad. That was what I was suggesting early on instead of the drum. What has the drum really brought? Don't really think anything, so...
Oh boy.
Force would have probably been a better first choice.
Mirana has a... very close to a Lincoln, just needs the recipe now, so on her way for sure. Of course, with that Aegis, is Orange playing this a little too passively, you think?
Maybe. There's a Night Stalker BKB, which I'm actually surprised he gets at 21 minutes. That's a pretty good job by Blitz. He's only died once out of their 11 deaths, and he's been managing to get decent farm. Night Stalker is really not a good farmer, but at 22 minutes, having about 100 CS on Night Stalkers is pretty okay. And it's been a hard game for them, so want to commend him on getting that BKB, which could be making a big difference because Orange's heroes are just flat out bad against BKB at this point. Mirana does not have any attack damage. She's going for Lincolns. The main damage source they have, as far as physical damage goes, is actually Mass Servant Wards, but they're level 1 and can probably be dealt with. So I'm not ruling Zephyr out yet, actually. It's looking really, really bad, but a good team fight with the tank that is now on.
Is under attack.
The BKB Night Stalker coming in, preferably taking out the Shadow Shaman. I think he's the priority target to get silenced, even though the others are elusive heroes. Stop the Night Stalker from getting his spells off, or silence the Chen so he can't heal.
Do you believe, Finran? Do you believe in Zephyr?
I believe in Orange, if that's a legit answer.
No, not really. Not
but I also believe that Zephyr is actually going to take a good fight in this game. I don't think they're just going to get fresh from now on.
Well, I think
now they have what they need.
Now that they have the Blink Dagger on, they can't show the Blink Dagger. I'm not sure if they have yet. I don't think so.
No,
and that's a very important thing, as we've talked about time and time again. And it all comes down to execution in this team fight. This could be the GG almost. If
they get what they want, I think.
Blitz getting crushed, can't even get off his BKB.
Okay. Okay, so I thought they wanted that. He was obviously baiting. They have a Dazzle and a Shadow Demon, but they're both out of range. Grave is only level 2. Shadow Demon was like 1500 range behind. He had the BKB, didn't get to use it. Now Bambo's gonna get caught out, and Cory.
Tanking not quite in range for an epicenter blink. In fact, he's at the top of the lane next to the side shop. They're just gonna clean up Zephyr's heroes in their base. Cory, nothing you can do. Sand King at the side shop, top lane, is forced to TP back to base.
All right, now I don't.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Well, they don't know he has blink yet. Still, they still don't know that.
Radiant's
10
top
seconds.
tower is under attack.
There's lots of creep. Of course, yeah, the low.
The problem is this tier 3
timers
tower is going to be gone when the other heroes are up, and then their chances of taking the fight they need is going to be, they're going to be pretty slim. But
surprised that Blitz isn't using his ult here. It is nighttime after all.
Not so fast.
Yeah, it does reduce the vision, of course, when darkness is active. And maybe he's thinking that it's possible a fight breaks out in daytime and it will be necessary. So it's almost day again. So that could make sense to hold on to it right now. I would actually agree with that. But
you are the Night Stalker player, so I believe you.
This bait from Blitz actually made a lot of sense. But it just wasn't a bait. That was the problem. He was in a bait-like position where Orange actually took the bait, and they realized there was a pretty big chance of Blitz getting saved by Dazzle and Shadow Demon, so they just went all out and just used every cooldown on killing Blitz there. If Zephyr managed to set that bait up, they managed to save him. He turns around, he gets a Shadow Wave, he gets BKB off, he gets mech'd, and the heal from Cory comes out. They could have turned that fight around with a Blink Dagger. But the moment Night Stalker's dead, they can't even fight anymore.
Here we have a smoke by Zephyr. Can they find anybody within their grasp? Do they know that Blink Dagger's on Sand King? Even though he bought it 5 minutes ago, I'm not sure if he's actually shown it, which is still a factor to actually think about, believe it or not. The Aegis will be reclaimed in another minute, so Orange probably wants to play, well, they don't need to play passive, but they might play passive just based on that fact alone. But they're going to find Zephyr in the jungle here, or better yet, Zephyr's going to find them. There's a Burrow Strike, of course, the Lincoln Spear's going to pop. Poor shot. Will they kill the Chen? They do. Corey getting the kill there. Of course, his ult gets the kill no matter what. Shadow Demon Disruption. And the fight's going to break out. Burrow Strike upon creeps only. Vacuum into a Sonic Wave. Corey getting really low. Pops the mech basically on himself. 2 dead for Orange. Of course, the Aegis is popped for Quap, so he'll be back very shortly. Purge on the run. Trying to do as much damage as he can. Gets the Soul Catcher off just before he drops the deck. BKB then popped by Blitz. I believe that's the 10-second version.
Yep.
And Corey, with absolutely no mana whatsoever, looks like he's about to drop as well to the deck. So
If they weren't 20,000 gold behind, like seriously, it's such a shame. I love their picks, and I can just see how it could work so well. And now they're actually doing what they needed to do a long time ago, but it's just too late. And if nothing else, I want to really commend Zephyr on their decision to get the Necrophos here, which was great. The whole composition that they've built against Orange is so good. They just lost too hard in the early game, and they're paying for it right now. And because of that, it's going to look like an absolute stomp, which it is, but which it shouldn't have been if they just played it the safe way. They didn't need to do anything flashy. They could have safe lanes the Necrophos, played the supports with him, off lane the Dazzle, get a Sand King bait with that Dagger.
oh my god. The farming Dazzle gets blown up, and Blitz will follow suit. The Shadow Demon gets a nice disruption, but it'll only delay the inevitable as Corey will drop to the deck now as well. And this is going to be GG, I think. Aosin gets the Epicenter off on 2. And the Sandstorm. Question is, can they find him? Quap is actually going to go down. Oh, beautiful Hand of God at the last second. Aosin getting greedy, caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Double kill for the Mirana. And the GG's come out from Corey. So execution just wasn't there. I feel like you're right. The beginning of the game is really the telling story.
Yeah.
I hate to keep harping on it, but they guessed wrong on the lanes, and then they didn't adapt to it fast enough. They were just stuck in the top lane with the supports for was it like 2 or 3 minutes, I feel like.
What I'm wondering, looking at the picks of Orange, is why were Zephyr expecting anything different? Like, there's almost only one way to put Orange's lanes. Let's be honest. You have a Chen, you want to safe lane jungle him. If you want an aggressive jungle Chen, you need a better level 1 support than a Shadow Shaman. They aren't strong enough. So, if Zephyr were expecting that, why did they run the aggressive trial lane into Mirana, who has Leap, who just plays it safe? Meanwhile, they're farming in the jungle, they rotate and gank. Could have safe laned the Necrolite, like they did, with support backup, free farm the Necro, 7-minute mech. Night Stalker gets level 6-7 in the middle lane, Dazzle gets maybe level 5 off lane, that's okay. And then they can start playing this mid game that their lineup would have been so insane at 15 minutes, would you agree?
I do, and leaving Necrolite alone is very dangerous as well.
Yes.
That hero is easily dove under tower, and actually safe lane is like the easiest tower in the game to dive. There's so much space to backstab. They had a great roaming combo with the Chen Shadow Shaman. I mean, you guys pretty much said it. They just took too long to adapt, and they didn't get the early pickoff. It was a little bit gimmicky, and then to make matters worse, they kept on forcing the issue. I mean, you pretty much ran down the list. It was, why is the Shadow Priest the primary farmer for the team? What was he actually doing with the farm? They seemed like they really wanted to rely on basically the disruption and the heal bomb combo, but they just didn't get to lane against anybody. And they just didn't have a plan
left
B.
away every time with that combination. I feel like the Sand King, Aosin, you guys disagree with? You kind of disagree with me. I feel like he could have, if they were set on Dazzle farming that lane, I feel like he could have gone to, obviously Chen was in that jungle, he could have gone to his own jungle to use Sandstorm and get some farm. I mean, he got his Blink Dagger like 5 minutes before the game ended.
Technically, since the safe lane tower was taken after 2.5 minutes in,
yeah.
I think they took the safe lane tower. Chen was playing in the Radiant jungle the whole game.
Oh, the Radiant jungle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if Sand King wants to Sandstorm farm, he needs to farm in the Dire jungle, which he could have tried, I guess. Maybe that would have worked.
That probably would have been better than what they were doing, to be honest.
It's sad to say it, but in the first 5 to 10 minutes, anything else from the supports would have been better. They could have done anything. They could have pulled, farmed, tried to gank mid, just not stay top.
Their draft seemed strongest at laning against somebody, but those heroes are like some of the most difficult to gank in the game. Mirana, very difficult to gank. Queen of Pain mid, especially during daytime, very difficult to gank. Night Stalker, yeah, you void her, maybe you get off the silence, and then perhaps you can get a burrow striking killer, but that's a lot of ifs, maybes, and buts. And it seemed like Zephyr quickly went on complete tilt, to be honest. Like just taking really bad engagements, overextending quite a bit. Bambo with some questionable item decisions. Like the item build to me felt like Bambo was like, I'm just gonna carry this game solo like Dazzle, but it's not a pub game. You're playing against an organized team. Orange know what they're doing, and it's just not gonna work.
The funny thing is, I feel like if we flip these lineups around, and Orange has the lineup of Zephyr, and let's say, who did they lose to? Arrow has the lineup Orange had in this game. I think Orange would have won with Zephyr's draft. I really liked their draft. I think it was great. I'm not going to say it was better flat out than Orange's was, but Orange has a lot of pressure with this draft to perform. And the harder you make it for them to perform, the more they lose their momentum. Like Chen, Shadow Shaman early on.
They have to get a lot done in the laning
They need
stage.
to get something done. Since pulling was nerfed in, what was that, 678 or something,
yeah,
it is harder for the Shadow Shaman Chen combination to really work as a greedy duo without getting anything done. And the Radiant offlane is also better now, and they could have got a lot out of that.
The other thing was they were running Queen of Pain, which, if she doesn't completely crush the laning stage, yeah, she owns Night Stalker 1v1. That's not a debate. But
Blitz did okay.
It gets to nighttime, and suddenly you have the increased vision. She can blink out, and then you still run her down, void her, silence her. Sand King shows up, burrow strikes her, she's dead.
Yep.
Like, the Queen of Pain pick had to do a lot in the laning stage. Mirana falls off in those mid-game team fights. Zephyr had the way better team fight, the way better 5-man lineup, but they lost the laning stage so hard, like the game was pretty much over by 3 minutes, which you almost never see.
Yeah. I feel like we're beating a dead horse at this point.
And I think Zephyr is a dead horse, sadly. I mean, if we have the group standings ready, we can take a look at them. Hopefully Roland's been doing his job.
So sad. Go Purge.
Arrow Gaming, apparently 6-0, so they clean sweep day one.
Oh, who did Mineski lose to?
Mineski was playing Arrow. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the other game.
So Mineski's still looking strong here. Orange, I guess, take care of business against Zephyr, who looks to be one of the weaker teams in the qualifier at this point. But it sets up a pretty interesting day too. This is the first half of the group. We should just take a quick look at the second half so we see the overall picture for the Southeast Asian qualifiers. Maybe it's not such an exciting day too, actually. I think Scythe is not out of it, even though they're 1-3.
I would agree.
They've only played 4 games, so yeah.
Who did Scythe?
Do you know who Scythe's playing right now, Roland? Are they playing another game? They're playing RRQ. Okay, so one of these...
That's a big game, actually, if you really think about it.
Yeah, if Scythe loses this, they're borderline out. Not quite, but very close. And if RRQ lose, then these two teams are in similar positions in the group. And neither in a great one.
And the thing is, I don't think Scythe has played their hardest games yet. They have not played Arrow, correct?
No, they've not played Arrow. They lost to Mineski.
Mineski, you could say, with the standings right now, are one of the harder opponents, so I guess that's okay.
Have they played Orange, Roland? Scythe. Has Scythe played Orange? Scythe has to play Orange tomorrow. They have to play Arrow tomorrow. And Zephyr. So let's say they beat Zephyr. I think they actually need to just win out tomorrow and beat RRQ. If they win out, then they're what, 6-3?
Yeah.
Assuming they win the one game today, which is possible.
I think 5-4 is almost at this point going to secure you a tiebreaker.
Especially depending on who you beat.
Playoffs.
You beat a team like Orange, who's technically ahead of you right now. You pull them down a notch, and you can climb over their back, kind of thing.
I'd say the way it looks right now, Arrow's going to take first. Some team, I think one of the teams that have the highest score right now is going to take second alone. And then I think there's going to be a 3 or 4-way tie for third and fourth on 5-4 scores. I think that sounds like the
Arrow
most
needs to
likely
win one
situation
game
right
to 100% guarantee number 1, right?
Then their
one
worst
game.
score is 7-2. Then they could tie with 2 of the teams that have 4-2, right?
But that seems...
If they win 2 games, there's no question.
Yeah. And who does Arrow have to play? Because I think they've played a lot of the hard teams already.
Scythe, right?
They play Zephyr, that's like an auto win for the way Arrow's playing right now. And Scythe, which I would not... I think that game could go absolutely either way. Scythe took the series last time they played, I believe, before TI qualifiers. Roland, can you show us the first half of the group one more time? Because I basically want to go through and say, guys, let's pick 4 teams. Who's going to make it?
Okay.
And we'll go around the 3 of us. So, we all agree Arrow.
Yes.
I think the first 3, honestly, will stay as is.
So you think MVP Phoenix falls out? You don't think Scythe mounts a comeback? and RRQ falls short as well.
God, actually, it's such a boring pick. From what I've seen from Myth Trust, I like what I've seen, honestly. So I kind of like the top 4, to be honest. MVP, I don't believe in them as much as other people, but they are a wild card at the very least.
Well, I think the prediction I had coming into the qualifiers was that MVP was the more legitimate shot for the Korean teams, and so far it certainly seems that way. Like you said, Cinder and Zephyr has a lot of potential. They have some good thinking about the game, but the execution just isn't quite there. So who would you pick as your 4 teams?
I think Scythe makes top 4.
Okay.
I think tomorrow they're like backs against the wall, no clowning around. Today they were just not good enough.
You play those games like I'd say 10 times. Scythe wins the games they lost today 9 times out of 10.
Exactly. I think they had a bad day, and I think now that it's going to start really mattering and they have their backs against the wall, they're going to play really safe. They're going to play the split pushing style that Miracle is one of the best at in the world.
And they'll draft lineups that can excel in that style. Like they ran the Morphling in the split push style, but the rest of the team just didn't fit it. Like they run for a Panda early, a lot of 5-man heroes that, again, the match versus Mineski, which doesn't suit that kind of draft.
So I would say Scythe makes it. At this point, Arrow first in this group. Now they've pretty much done it.
So who are the other 2 teams then? Orange, Mineski are 2 of the teams in the running. RQ's kind of on the fringe at 2 and 3.
We're saying who goes to the playoffs, not who goes
top
to
4.
The potential tiebreaker first, because then it can be more than 4. I have to pick 4.
If like who ultimately makes
it. Okay. I'll say Arrow, Scythe, Orange, I think will also make it. And then Mineski, I would say too.
Okay.
I don't think MVP are going to make it. I think they're going to be very close, but they're not going to cut it.
I feel like it might come down to tiebreakers, and if it does, I don't have a ton of faith in MVP either. So my 4 teams would be Scythe, Arrow. Scythe is a very bold pick, and we're all like, yeah, Scythe will make it. But you weren't, but the 2 of us
I think
are.
if they make it a tiebreaker, they'll have a really good chance, obviously. But
they might need some help is the other thing. Like Scythe, even if they win, if they drop 1 more game, then they might need help to qualify. Is the other thing, because they're already 1 and 4. So at that point, they've got.
They're 1 and 4.
Is that right?
No,
1 and 3. Sorry, 1 and 3.
Did they lose to RRQ, or how's that game going?
Yeah, how is the RRQ game going?
Is it close?
Where's our live updates, man? It's okay.
All right.
We'll have more updates for you guys soon. If you want, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/SunsFanTV, Cinder and Dota, and LD Dota, and of course, Beyond the Summit, Dota Cinema.
And Purge Gamers.
Man, you're cold.
What? I'm rooting for him. How dare you?
You have a funny time to show it.
Purge Gamers.
But yeah, with that being said, guys, I think we're all a little loopy, a little tired.
Yeah.
We'll get the rebroadcast started for y'all soon. For those who didn't already know, the North American, or the American qualifier is not actually over. It's tied up 2-2 in the best of 5. Game 5 is being played at 1 p.m. local time here, which is in 6 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, so it's 1 PDT, 4 EDT, and
22 CEST.
Yeah.
10 p.m.
10 in the evening, 10 p.m. CEST, yes.
And 4 a.m. if you happen to be in Southeast Asia. Yes. So basically, that's one that's worth waking up for and watching. Get your popcorn ready. The draft's already done.
The draft is done.
It's just a straight Captain's Mode remake, but they do the same draft just so that like you have the same amount of time before the creep spawn, and winner qualifies to TI. Loser has to go through the wild card. And frankly, you look at some of the talent coming out of Europe as well as China, and North America, or America and Southeast Asia, seem like the underdogs to advance through that.
I'm going to blind pick the Chinese second-place team to win the wildcard match already now.
Wow.
No matter who it is.
Abandoning your European brethren. Well, you've already joined the American hub, so this is just the next step.
The Chinese qualifier is brutal, I think.
It is.
The worst team of LGD and Dreamtime, which are my 2 favorites for the Chinese qualifier, that's not a team you want to meet in the best of 5 online.
True. No. I mean, it could go the way of like the Quantic Rattlesnake last year, I suppose, which was not.
Yeah.
I thought that
Quantic were the favorites in that one.
Yeah, I thought that series would be closer, and they just got destroyed.
I don't want to get into the American qualifiers too much because I know we want to wrap it up, but I'm feeling iffy about my picks now.
Okay.
That Drow Ranger is pretty meh.
It's like eating away at you a little bit.
Yeah,
They were very confident, and they talked to K-Pop Toastus. We actually had to rebook Fogg's flight here because he's coming to the NA Hub, and he wasn't defensive. He just said, like, here's why we picked it. We're confident it's going to work. We're good.
I hope so. I mean,
we'll see.
Pretty crazy pick.
What was it? They picked it into a slaughter, and
The Slardar, Puck, SF. There's like a
SF is okay to pick it into.
Yeah.
He's ranged and won't come close. But Slardar with Blink, anytime he sees a Drow, he just goes.
boom.
Go in, stop her aura.
Yeah.
I think
They
the
have
Drow-
5 range heroes. It's squishy. I think
That's
there's like a
true.
Nature's Prophet in there. Enchantress. It's like a very weak 5-man lineup.
Do they have any defensive support for Drow, like Dazzle or Shadow Demon?
No, I don't. Maybe they have a Dazzle. They might have. Did they have a Dazzle? They had some range support.
It might have been Dazzle.
Enchantress
AA.
A, Bat Rider.
Okay, their
Furion.
heroes are going to hit really hard with Chilling Touch, though.
Yeah, they have 5 range heroes with Chilling Touch and Drow Aura. So it could be amazing, but Slardar gets a blink, Puck gets a blink, they're just going to feed. So that game is going to go one of 2 ways. Either they snowball or they just get crushed.
Yeah, I don't think that's game. I can't imagine that game being one-sided anyway. So,
No, you think it's going to be close?
sorry, the other way around.
Okay,
I
you can't imagine
being
it
close.
not being
Yes,
one-sided.
Exactly.
Gotcha. We're loopy. We're tired, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is the International 4 North American Hub. We've been up for 24 hours straight, nearly casting, well, international Dota. We started in America. We ended in Southeast Asia, and Southeast Asia will continue tomorrow again. Sunsfan, Cinderin, LD. We had Base Kit, Mott, Gods, the whole crew, K-Pop Tosos, Roland. Thanks for joining us. We're just going to go to sleep now. We'll see you soon.
Really got to take a shower.